I called my best friend last year. I was sitting in my car in a parking lot, and I was crying. Not the pretty kind, the ugly kind. The kind where your whole face changes shape.
What happened?
She picked up and said, "Hey, what's up?" And I opened my mouth to tell her everything. The fight with my partner, the pressure at work, the feeling that I was failing at everything. All of it was right there, ready to come out.
And?
And all I said was, "I'm fine, just tired. I'm fine, just tired." I had a hurricane inside me, and the only words that came out were fine and tired. The two most dishonest words in the English language.
And she believed you?
She said, "Okay, get some rest," and hung up. And I sat there in that parking lot for another 20 minutes, alone, still crying, still fine.
Because you didn't have the words.
I had feelings. I just didn't have words big enough to carry them. And that gap between what you feel and what you can say, that gap is where loneliness lives.
And today, we're going to close that gap. Not with therapy, not with motivation, with language. Real, specific, honest English for the feelings that fine and tired have been covering up your entire life.
Because your feelings deserve better words. And you deserve to be understood. Not just heard, understood. Hey everyone, welcome back to Real People, Real English, the podcast where we don't ask, "How are you?" and accept fine as an answer. I'm Emma.
And I'm Henry. Today's episode is personal. It might make you feel something. And if it does, good. That means it's working.
Settle in. This one matters.
So here's the truth. English has over 170,000 words. And when it comes to feelings, most of us use about 7.
Happy, sad, angry, tired, fine, good, okay.
7 words for the entire spectrum of human emotion. 7 words for heartbreak, for overwhelm, for the feeling you get when someone you love disappoints you, for the ache of being misunderstood, for the quiet grief of growing apart from someone.
7 words for all of that.
And it's not because we don't feel more. We feel everything. We feel things so deeply that sometimes our chest physically hurts. But when someone asks, "What's wrong?" our mouth says, "Nothing."
Because nothing is safe. Nothing doesn't require vulnerability. Nothing doesn't risk being judged. Nothing lets you keep the mask on.
But nothing also keeps you alone. Because nobody can help with nothing. Nobody can understand nothing. And nobody can love the real you if all they ever see is fine.
Today, we're taking the mask off, and we're giving you the words for what's underneath.
Okay, let's start with why feelings get stuck. Why can't we say what we feel?
Reason 1, we were never taught. Think about it. In school, you learned English vocabulary for animals, colors, jobs, food. Did anyone ever teach you the word for the feeling you get when someone cancels plans and you're secretly relieved, but also a little hurt?
That's a very specific feeling.
And it's a very real feeling, but there's no vocabulary lesson for it. Nobody teaches emotional English. They teach you happy and sad and assume you'll figure out the other 500 feelings on your own.
Reason 2, feelings are messy. They don't come one at a time. They come in piles. You feel angry and sad and embarrassed and guilty all at once. And when someone says, "What's wrong?" you have to somehow organize that pile into one clear sentence while you're emotional.
It's like someone dumps a box of puzzle pieces in front of you and says, "Build the picture," while the house is on fire.
While the house is on fire. Yes, that's what it feels like.
And reason 3, culture. In many cultures, expressing feelings is weakness. Men don't cry. Women are too emotional. Adults should handle it. Children should calm down.
So you learn, very young, that feelings are inconvenient, that they bother people, that the polite thing to do is swallow them and say, I'm fine.
And you practice "I'm fine" so many times that it becomes automatic. Your brain doesn't even check anymore. Someone asks how you are. Fine. Done. Next topic. The feeling stays inside, unnamed, unexpressed, unresolved.
And I want to say something to the men listening, because I know this episode might feel uncomfortable for some of you.
Yes, please keep listening.
In many cultures, men are taught that feelings are weakness, that real men don't cry, that talking about emotions is soft. And I want to tell you, from one man to another, that's a lie. The strongest men I know are the ones who can say, I'm hurting without flinching, who can say, I need help without shame.
Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is the hardest kind of strength because it requires more courage to open up than to shut down.
And shutting down doesn't make you strong, it makes you invisible, even to the people who love you the most. And here's what happens to unnamed feelings. They don't disappear, they accumulate, like snow on a roof. 1 inch is fine, 2 inches is fine, but eventually the roof collapses.
And when the roof collapses, people say, "What happened? You seemed fine." And you want to scream. I was never fine. I've been saying fine for 6 months and nobody noticed.
Because fine is invisible. Fine is a locked door with no sound coming from inside. People walk past and assume the room is empty. But the room is full. The room has been full for months.
So let's open that door. Let's give you the actual words.
And we're not doing a textbook list. We're doing this by situation. Real moments, real feelings. Words you can use tomorrow.
Situation 1. You're overwhelmed. Everything is too much. Work, family, responsibilities, decisions. Your brain feels like a browser with 47 tabs open.
47 tabs, some of them playing music, and you can't find which one.
That's overwhelm. I feel overwhelmed. It means the amount of things in your life exceeds your capacity to handle them. Not because you're weak, because there's too much.
I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately. Everything is hitting me at once, and I'm overwhelmed. Notice, no shame in these sentences, just honesty.
And here's a deeper version. I feel like I'm drowning in responsibilities, and I don't know which one to grab first. That sentence paints a picture. Drowning, grabbing. The other person can see your experience, not just hear a label.
Situation 2. Someone hurt you, but it wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. They said something careless. They forgot something important. They dismissed your idea in a meeting.
And you can't say, I'm angry, because it's not anger exactly. It's smaller than anger, but it stings.
Sting. That's the word. That comment stung. Sting means a sharp, quick pain, like a bee. Not a wound, not a catastrophe, just a sting. But it stays with you longer than it should.
What you said yesterday stung more than I think you realize. I know you didn't mean it, but it stung. These are powerful sentences because they're precise. Not dramatic, not aggressive, just precise.
And if the hurt is deeper, I felt dismissed. Dismissed means your feeling or opinion was treated as unimportant. I felt dismissed when you changed the subject while I was talking.
Or, I felt invisible. Invisible means nobody saw you, nobody acknowledged you. I felt invisible in that meeting. I've been feeling invisible at home lately. That word carries so much weight.
Situation 3. You're not sad exactly. You're empty, flat. like someone turned down the volume on your emotions.
This one is hard because people expect sadness to look like crying, but sometimes sadness looks like nothing, just sitting there, staring, not feeling much of anything.
The word is numb. I feel numb. Numb means you can't feel emotions the way you normally do, like emotional anesthesia. Your brain has turned off the feeling system to protect you.
I've been feeling numb lately, and I don't know why. After everything that happened, I just went numb. This isn't weakness. This is your brain's survival mode. It's saying, there's too much pain right now, so I'm going to turn off the sensors until it's safe again.
And naming it, saying, I feel numb, is actually the first step out of it, because naming it means the sensors are turning back on.
Situation 4. You feel guilty. Not because you did something terrible, but because you feel like you're not doing enough. Not a good enough parent. Not a good enough partner. Not a good enough friend. Not a good enough employee.
The word is inadequate. I feel inadequate. It means you feel like you're not enough, not measuring up. I feel inadequate as a mother when I see other parents doing more.
And this is important. Feeling inadequate is not the same as being inadequate. The feeling lies. It compares your worst day to someone else's best day and says, see, you're failing. But you're not. You're just human.
I've been feeling inadequate at work, but I think I'm being too hard on myself. That sentence is emotionally intelligent. It names the feeling and questions it. That's growth.
Situation 5. You feel grateful, but you don't know how to say it beyond thank you.
This is underrated. Positive feelings also need real words.
I'm grateful for you. You made my week better without even trying. I don't say it enough, but I appreciate you deeply.
And the deepest one? I feel seen when I'm with you. Seen means someone truly notices and understands you. Not your mask, you.
You make me feel seen. That sentence can make someone cry in the best way. Because being seen is the opposite of being invisible. And most people are starving for it.
So emotional vocabulary isn't just for pain. It's for love too, for gratitude, for the moments when someone matters to you and you want them to know, really know, how much. If any of those words hit you, overwhelmed, stung, dismissed, invisible, numb, inadequate, and you thought, that's exactly what I feel, then your emotional intelligence is higher than you think.
Because recognizing a feeling when you hear its name, that's not easy. That means your brain is already processing emotions at a deep level. In English. Right now.
And the vocabulary you just learned? These aren't B1 words. These are words that many native speakers struggle to use. So if you understood them, you're doing something remarkable.
Give yourself credit for that. Seriously.
Now the hard part. You have the words, but how do you say them to another person without starting a war?
Because there's a difference between expressing a feeling and weaponizing it.
Weaponizing. Using your feeling as an attack.
You never listened to me. That's weaponized. I felt unheard when I was trying to explain myself. That's expressed. Same feeling, completely different impact.
The difference is one blames, the other shares. One points a finger, the other opens a hand.
Points a finger, opens a hand. That's the image. Always open a hand, not point a finger.
Here's the formula. I felt when, that's it, 3 parts. I felt the emotion, when what happened.
I felt hurt when my opinion wasn't asked for. I felt anxious when I didn't hear back from you. I felt small when you corrected me in front of everyone.
And notice, none of these sentences say, "You did this to me." They say, "This is what I experienced." The other person doesn't feel accused, so they can actually listen.
Because here's the truth. The moment someone feels accused, they stop listening and start defending. And the conversation dies. You wanted to be understood, and instead, you got a counter argument.
But when you share your experience without blame, "I felt small," instead of "You humiliated me," the other person is more likely to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize."
And I didn't realize is actually what you wanted. You wanted them to see your experience, and they can only see it if they're not busy defending themselves.
And if it comes out wrong, because sometimes it will, you can repair it. "I'm sorry. That came out sharper than I meant. Let me try again."
Let me try again. 4 words that save relationships. Because they say, I'm not perfect, but I care enough to get this right. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't express feelings, when you bottle them up.
Bottled up. That means keeping feelings trapped inside instead of expressing them.
And bottled up feelings don't disappear, they ferment, like old milk in the back of the fridge. You can ignore it, but eventually, someone opens the fridge and the whole kitchen smells.
The whole kitchen smells. That's what happens when you don't talk about your feelings for months. One day, someone says something tiny. "Hey, you forgot to buy milk." And you explode.
And the other person is standing there thinking, it's just milk? Why are you screaming about milk?
But it was never about the milk. It was about 6 months of feeling unappreciated, unseen, and unheard. The milk was just the last drop.
That's called lashing out. Lashing out means reacting with sudden anger that's bigger than the situation deserves.
I lashed out at my partner, and I feel terrible about it. I didn't mean to lash out. I had been holding things in for too long.
And lashing out always hurts. Not just the other person, you. Because after the explosion, you feel guilty. You said things you didn't mean. And now the real feeling, the one underneath, is still unexpressed. Plus, you added guilt and regret on top.
So the solution is speak while the feeling is small, before it has time to ferment.
I don't want this to build up, so I want to mention it now. That sentence is preventive medicine for your relationship.
Or, "This might sound small, but it's been sitting with me." That gives the other person a gentle warning. "I'm about to share something honest. Please be kind." Okay, flip side. What do you do when someone shares a feeling with you?
This is where most people fail, not because they're cruel, but because they panic.
Someone says, "I've been feeling really lonely," and your brain thinks, "Oh no, I need to fix this immediately." So you say, "Have you tried going out more?" Or, "At least you have your health."
At least you have your health. The award for worst emotional response goes to.
But people say these things because they don't know what else to say. They're uncomfortable with the feeling, so they try to minimize it or solve it.
But here's the secret. When someone shares a feeling, they don't want solutions. Not yet. They want to feel heard first, validated.
Validate. That means showing someone that their feeling makes sense. Not that they're right about everything, just that their feeling is understandable.
That sounds really hard. I can see why that upset you. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry you're going through that.
None of those sentences fix anything. And that's the point. They don't fix, they hold. They create a safe space for the feeling to exist without judgment.
And here's the most powerful question you can ask. Do you want advice, or do you just want me to listen?
That question is emotional gold because it gives the other person control. They might say, "Just listen," And that's enough. Your presence is the help.
Or they might say, actually, yes, I'd love your perspective. And then you give advice, but only after they asked for it.
Unsolicited advice is just criticism with a smile.
Unsolicited advice is criticism with a smile. That's brutal and accurate.
So, validate first, advise only when invited, and when in doubt, just listen. Listening is not passive. Listening is one of the most active forms of love.
And let me add one more thing about listening. When someone shares a feeling with you, resist the urge to share your own story immediately.
What do you mean?
If your friend says, I've been feeling really lonely, don't immediately say, oh, I know, I felt the same way last month. Because now you've moved the spotlight from them to you.
The spotlight shift. That's so common. Someone shares something vulnerable and the other person says, same thing happened to me, and suddenly the whole conversation is about them.
It comes from a good place. You're trying to relate. But in that moment, the person needs the spotlight. They need to be seen, not matched.
So instead, tell me more about that. How long have you been feeling this way? What does it feel like? Keep the spotlight on them.
You can share your experience later, but first, let them be heard, completely, without competition.
Because feelings aren't a competition. Nobody wins the who suffered more contest. Both feelings are valid. Both deserve space. Just not at the same time.
And one final piece, knowing when not to share.
Because emotional confidence isn't just about expressing everything to everyone. It's knowing who gets the full story and who gets the summary.
Your best friend gets the full story. Your coworker gets the summary. The stranger at the bus stop gets, I'm fine.
The bus stop gets fine.
And that's not lying. That's emotional intelligence. You choose your audience. You protect your vulnerability.
The word is boundaries. I have good emotional boundaries. It means you know what to share, with whom, and when.
And if someone pushes, if they keep asking when you've said you're not ready, you can say, I appreciate you caring, but I need to process this on my own first.
Or, I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I will when I am.
Or, and this one is firm, I need this conversation to stay respectful. If it can't, I need to pause it.
That's drawing the line. Draw the line means setting a clear limit on what's acceptable. And drawing the line is not rude, it's necessary.
Because conversations about feelings can become unsafe if boundaries aren't set. And you always, always have the right to pause, step back, or stop.
2 quick stories before we close.
Story 1. A friend of mine, let's call her Sarah, grew up in a family where feelings were not discussed. Ever. If you were sad, you were told to toughen up. If you were angry, you were told to calm down. The message was, feelings are a problem. Hide them.
And
She carried that into adulthood. She never told anyone how she felt. She smiled through everything. Perfect employee, perfect friend, perfect mask.
until
Until one day, her boyfriend said, I feel like I don't know you. And she realized he was right. She'd been so good at hiding her feelings that the person closest to her had never actually met her. The real her, the messy, scared, overwhelmed, beautiful, complicated her.
he'd been dating the mask.
He'd been dating the mask. And that night, she sat on the couch and said, I'm terrified that if I show you who I really am, you won't like me. And he said, I already don't know you, so you have nothing to lose.
That's heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time.
And she started, slowly, one feeling at a time. I felt hurt when you forgot our anniversary. I feel anxious about my job. I feel like I'm not enough sometimes. Small sentences, but each one cracked the mask a little more.
And
And 3 months later, she told me, Emma, I feel more exhausted than ever, but also more alive. Because feelings are tiring, but suppressing them is deadening.
Story 2. A listener wrote to us. He's from Turkey. He works in an international company in Germany. His English is strong, maybe B2. But he told us, Henry, in meetings I can discuss projects, budgets, deadlines, but when a colleague asks how I'm doing after a hard week, I freeze. I don't have the emotional English.
And that's so common. You can discuss quarterly reports, but you can't say, I felt overlooked in that meeting. You can discuss quarterly reports, but you can't say, I felt overlooked in that meeting.
So he started practicing. He learned 5 emotional phrases from our podcast, just 5, and he started using them. I felt a bit overwhelmed this week. That feedback stung a little, but I appreciate it. I'm still processing what happened in the meeting.
And his colleagues responded differently, not because his English changed dramatically, but because he went from being the quiet guy who only talks about work to being a person with feelings, a real person.
And one colleague told him, I feel like I know you better now. 5 phrases, that's all it took.
And that's the lesson from both stories. You don't need 100 emotional words. You need 5 or 6 good ones, used honestly, in the right moments, with the right people.
5 words can change how someone sees you. 5 words can change how you see yourself. Because when you name a feeling out loud, you gain power over it. It stops controlling you. You start understanding it.
And understanding a feeling is the first step to working with it instead of against it. Now, directly to you.
The next time someone asks, how are you? And the real answer isn't fine, try something different. Try the truth.
Not the whole truth, not a therapy session, just one honest word. Honestly, a little overwhelmed. Kind of stressed, but I'm managing. Not great, but getting through it.
That's not weakness. That's the strongest English you'll ever speak. Because honest English requires more courage than perfect English. And I want to tell you something about the English language specifically. English has a beautiful gift for feelings. It has hundreds of precise emotional words.
Other languages might have one word for sad. English has sad, devastated, heartbroken, melancholy, blue, gloomy, down, gutted, grief-stricken, desolate. 10 shades of sadness.
10 shades, and each one feels different. Devastated is not the same as blue. Heartbroken is not the same as down. Each word paints a different picture.
So the language you're learning, English, is actually one of the richest languages in the world for expressing emotion. You just need someone to show you the words. And that's what we're doing.
You're not learning a limited language. You're learning a language that has more colors for feelings than almost any other. And once you start using those colors, your emotional world gets brighter. Not just in English, in your whole life.
And the response you get might surprise you. Because most people are also hiding behind fine. And when you stop pretending, you give them permission to stop too.
And suddenly the conversation becomes real. 2 humans, no masks, just honest words in the space between them.
Word replay time. Let's slow down and lock these in.
First, overwhelmed.
Feeling that everything is too much to handle. I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately. Let's repeat. Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Next, stung.
A sharp, quick emotional pain from something someone said or did. That comment stung more than you realize. Let's repeat. Stung.
Stung. Next, dismissed.
Your feeling or opinion was treated as unimportant. I felt dismissed when you changed the subject. Let's repeat. Dismissed.
Dismissed. Next, numb.
Unable to feel emotions normally. Emotional shutdown. I've been feeling numb and I don't know why. Let's repeat. Numb.
Numb. Next, bottled up.
Feelings kept inside for too long without expression. I've been bottling things up and it's catching up to me. Let's repeat. Bottled up.
Bottled up. Next, lash out.
React with sudden anger that's bigger than the situation. I lashed out and I regret it. Let's repeat. Lash out.
Lash out. Next, validate.
Show someone that their feeling makes sense. All I needed was someone to validate what I was feeling. Let's repeat. Validate.
Validate. And our last phrase, draw the line.
Set a clear limit on what's acceptable. I care about you, but I need to draw the line here. Let's repeat. Draw the line.
Draw the line.
8 words that give you the power to name your feelings, protect your peace, and connect with the people who matter.
Practice them, one at a time. There's no rush. Your emotional English doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest. That's our episode.
If this one hit you, and I think it did, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who hides behind fine. They need this episode more than they'd ever admit.
In the comments, I'm your name from your country, and a feeling I struggle to express in English is we read every one, and your sentence is real practice.
Free PDF in the description. Every word, the formula, the emotion journal template, everything.
Monday through Friday, bell. You know the drill by now.
And here's what we want to leave you with.
Your feelings are not a problem to solve. They're not an inconvenience. They're not weakness. They're information. They're your heart telling you what matters. And the more clearly you can express them, the more deeply you can be loved.
Because nobody can love you if they don't know you. And they can't know you if you keep saying, fine.
So the next time your chest is full and your mouth wants to say, fine, pause, take a breath, and try one real word instead. Overwhelmed, hurt, lonely, invisible, grateful, scared, hopeful.
Just one word. That's all it takes to crack the door open. And once the door is open, even just a little, the right people will walk through it.
Take care of your words, take care of your feelings, and take care of yourself.
This was Real People, Real English. I'm Emma.
And I'm Henry. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And tonight, if someone asks how you are, tell them the truth. Even a small truth. It matters more than you think.
It really does. Bye-bye.